Are you afraid to exercise because you might go low? Do you avoid even taking a walk because you're afraid you'll drop low? You won't have what you need or the capacity to help yourself. Well, I'm going to walk you through and encourage you on a few things that you can try to turn this thought and these fears, turn them around so that we can again enjoy exercise because we know how important it is to move with long-term insulin sensitivity. And today I really want to, number one, validate this fear because we've all had scary moments, all of us, no matter how long you've lived with type 1 or insulin-dependent diabetes. The fear of this is real and it's scary, especially after just one bad experience, one bad episode or, connection with running or taking a walk, or maybe we're in a class for a full hour and you felt stuck and trapped and overwhelmed. And of course, our brain is not working as well or as sharp when our blood sugar is low. Another reason that our body needs glucose, right, to function and to think clearly and cognitively. And fear is protective. It is good that we remember these things, turn them around, and find ways that we can reverse this and correct it without overcorrecting it. Start by considering a past experience while exercising that didn't end the way you wanted it to. And ask yourself a couple really key questions. What did I learn from this? What could you have done differently? How could you have better prepared? And what would you do differently the next time that you choose to get out there and move the body? Again, these steps are really pivotal. And the physiology of insulin, as you probably know if you've been living with diabetes for a bit, insulin on board plus movement will increase glucose uptake. In other words, we burn sugar when we are moving. That's the advantage of it. But in this case, if we're not timing insulin and our exercise and our food intake, it is all about timing, then lows can occur. And like I was saying too, intensity and timing matters. It's really about understanding your past experience around a session of exercise, analyzing it with love, nothing too critical, but really just taking a higher view, looking back and asking, what was the environment? What was I doing? How much food did I have in my system? How much insulin did I have in my system? So why was it that this occurred? And again, what can you do differently? So a safer experiment to prove that you can do this and exercise can be part of your routine because you know how important it is to have everything you need and know what to do no matter what. And this is possible. So let's start with 10 to 15 minutes. Let's just say it's a walk, it's a bike ride, or maybe walking after a meal. Again, looking at insulin on board, when was your last meal, and just coordinating that. And again, definitely looking at your pump settings, your basal rates, looking at where you are, what typically happens after a meal when you're walking, and take note of that. And celebrating when it does work out, right? So again, if we're talking walks after dinner, maybe looking at your basal reduction. If you're on a pump especially, you can go into activity mode 30 to 60 minutes prior to that scheduled exercise session. This is going to really help. Again, you've got these choices. These are tools available within your pump settings. And then again, maybe if you are MDI, multiple daily injections, it's looking at the timing of your basal rates. And again, maybe adjusting your bolus with a meal. So reducing that, knowing that the basal is already in your system because it's generally a 1 or 2 a day injection. So you have to factor that in. Again, timing is everything. And of course, if you're going out for a walk, a bike ride, doing whatever that you're having fun doing, which is so important, bring glucose tabs along. That's something I like to do. I've got these little fruit chews that I like to pack. I can put those right into a pocket, or if my husband's with me, he's always got pockets. He can carry them for me. So it's always about being prepared. And it's okay if you go low. It is okay. You got to convince yourself. Exercise is important enough to factor it in to our day-to-day care, and knowing that the fear that you maybe once had around it can be mitigated. It can be overcome. You can rebuild the trust and take this opportunity when you decide that you're going to get back out there and do some movement. Again, start with small sessions of exercise, whether that's a walk, a bike ride, maybe it's a gym class, it's 30 minutes rather than a full hour. But again, trust, track what happened, observe what you learned, and what would you adjust, if needed, the next time you take that exercise class. And over time, you will build the confidence and you will get back out there, and exercise can be part of your plan. Don't abandon the plan after a incident that led to low blood sugar. You can prove that you can get past this. Movement increases insulin sensitivity long term. So that's another thing to consider. So as you get back into a regular routine, knowing that over time it's going to build up more sensitivity. So your body's going to be more efficient at utilizing that insulin, and something else to consider. But again, take it one day at a time. Avoid any sort of increases in resistance. Don't be afraid to get out there and move and experiment, because it's worth it. You've got this. Prove to yourself that you can do it, and you can have a plan, and bring what you need along to get it done. I've got confidence in you. And visit the show notes here. My book, Highs, Lows, and Hormones, has a whole chapter on specific exercise scenarios that you can look at as far as pump settings, meal timing, different types of exercise that are going to be more advantageous depending on what time of day it is and how it fits into you and your lifestyle. That's the most important thing. But you can check that out again right here in the notes. You can purchase the book, Highs, Lows, and Hormones. Also, check out my coaching circle, Type 1 and Midlife. We talk about all of this in our circle. It's an open forum. We come in, share, ask questions, and we dive into episodes that I feature on all these topics on my podcast, Type 1 and Midlife. So be sure to follow the shows so you stay in the loop.